Welcome to The Curious Keeper. I am your host, Shannon Cutts, along with my ever-present feathered sidekick, Pearl Cutts. And I'm also mama to an adorable 6.5-year-old red-footed tortoise named Malty. I have learned a ton since Malty joined our little flock 6.5 years ago as a 5-week-old hatchling. But where Malty is concerned, one of my daily lessons is that there's always more to learn. It seems like it's almost every day that I catch myself watching her and I think to myself, why do Redfoot tortoises do that? Whatever it may be. Here to help answer this question is Danielle Inman. Danny is an exotic animal expert and a herpetologist. She's a dear friend of mine who has deep knowledge and hands-on experience caring for a wide variety of exotic animal species, but most pertinent to our purposes here, the red-footed tortoise. In fact, the very first day I met you, Danny, you walked into the room and you said, my name is Danielle Inman, and I care for a 50-year-old red-footed tortoise named William. Boy, did I get excited. And I'm still excited every time I see you. So thanks for joining us here today to help shed light on some of these seemingly crazy red-footed tortoise behaviors. Specifically
Absolutely.
today, we're excited about decoding my red-footed tortoise is walking around the house here somewhere right now. So if you hear a little tap, 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 it's probably going to be her hoping to get fed. So today we're going to tackle a topic that, I really didn't know that Redfoot tortoises did this because until I met you, I didn't know anybody else with a Redfoot tortoise. It's not like we have, meetup groups or something. So they're hard. We can be hard to find. And so I didn't realize that Redfoot tortoises like to wallow in mud until one day after a rainstorm, and I walked outside and I saw the happiest little tortoise face, and she's just literally just covered in mud, just like one of those giant Galapagos tortoises at the zoo. So can you help us understand why my girl would want to cover herself in mud?
Sure, absolutely. So this is an important behavior. So you should make sure, like for Malty, what you've done for her, that there is an environment that is conducive to occasional wallowing. A nice mud bath is something that spas charge a lot of money for, and
Seriously.
Everybody enjoys it. So it serves a couple of purposes, and one of the main purposes is for preventing the infestation of and ridding the skin of ectoparasites. So nasty little biting flies, mosquitoes, ticks, things like that. That mud prevents a nice protective layer. And so that's part of the reason that they do that. Another thing that you'll see them do sometimes, you'll actually sometimes see them eat the mud. And that can be because of the minerals and things that are found within that dirt or clay. And so that is another reason that you'll sometimes observe that behavior. And lastly, it can be used to aid in thermoregulation. So thermoregulation is balancing the body's temperature. So when you deal with an ectotherm, which is most reptiles fall into that category of an animal that doesn't necessarily manufacture its own metabolism, and they're sort of at the whim of their environment. If they are too hot, the mud bath can provide a really nice cooling, respite from the warm weather for them. And so that's another reason that you'll sometimes observe that behavior.
So I've noticed, I didn't even think about, I have seen Malty eating. She eats lots of things she shouldn't eat.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about one of those in a different episode, but I have seen her eating mud. It didn't occur to me that it would help with keeping the body temperature constant.
The eating of the mud is about the ingestion of the minerals and things. There's a lot of really good minerals within dirt and mud that, as humans, we sometimes neglect to recognize. But, because it's easier to go to GNC and get a multivitamin than it is to eat a handful of dirt sometimes. Okay. But there are a lot of species that do this, and you'll see it in an avian species, they, have a clay-like behavior where they'll eat, soft clay and mud. You'll see it in even elephants, engage in that behavior. A lot of bovids like buffalo, bison, things like that. So there's a lot of mud consumption across the natural world.
Who knew?
But yeah, that's just to kind of make up for those gaps in the nutritional content of their food. These guys eat a lot of low nutrient, nutrient poor foods. And so eating mud, is a behavior that does serve a purpose.
Oh, well, and there's, you can hear her right now tapping around, just letting me know she's here. One thing that it's interesting how you say it protects from the ectoparasites and also mosquitoes, because, her skin is so thick that, I have seen mosquitoes kind of hovering around her, but I didn't realize they could actually bite her.
Yeah, there's some sort of vulnerable areas. A lot of tortoises have that nice thick skin, and some of them even have those bony osteoderms that are calcified, skin features. The area where you'll probably, if you watch your tortoise, and if you are fortunate enough to live in a wonderful place like Houston, where we're in the subtropics and there's a lot of mosquitoes,
lots of them.
You'll watch them kind of hover around the face in a lot of instances, and that's because of that nice, soft, fleshy tissue around the eyes and nose and those soft places where a mosquito can slip in a little proboscis.
Boy, I have them. I can almost hear them outside some mornings. I call them my pet mosquitoes, and they're waiting for breakfast as soon as I come out.
Yeah.
So, well, it's definitely important. I definitely highly recommend if you have a Redfoot tortoise or another tortoise species that's subtropical and or tropical and likes to get wet, to get muddy. I have never in my life seen such a happy face as the day I first walked out and I saw her. She looked so proud of herself. She looked so happy. She looked so contented, and she was quite literally covered. And I really honestly worried, because I thought to myself, she's going to get stuck in there. It's gonna dry and harden, and she won't be able to get out, But
a little tortoise cocoon.
Yep, she managed.
One day she'll be a beautiful butterfly.
Oh my gosh, an enormous red dotted butterfly. Yes, the prettiest one. Well, thank you so much, Danny, for shedding such good and knowledgeable light on this particularly mystifying Redfoot tortoise behavior.
Of course.
And we will look forward to seeing everyone back on our next episode here to learn more about the wonderful and exotic red-footed tortoise. Take good care.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.